Hi, everybody. I'm Neal Ronaghan, director of NintendoWorldReport.com, and we are here on NWRTV to talk about Nintendo's E3 presentation, or at least the preview of what might be there, as well as what's going to be on Nintendo systems at E3 2015, what we know of, and maybe a few things that we hope come out. I'm joined by Nintendo World Report's features editor, Justin Berube.
What's up, guys?
And we also have our news maven, Donald Theriault.
Hello.
How's everybody doing tonight?
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good. I Puzzle and Dragon Z today. Hooray.
Okay, yeah. I need to get to that at some point. I'm still slaving away in the dumb Mario one because I want to see it through to the end, even though everyone keeps on telling me, hey, Z's better.
Hey, I haven't tried it yet, but hearing all the conversation on Twitter is maybe not want to jump into it as quickly.
But anyway, enough about games that we're playing right now. Let's talk about games that some of us might be playing in like a week. We're just going to go through. We have a list, an alphabetized list, thanks to Justin, of the Wii U, Wii U eShop, 3DS, 3DS eShop, and hardware. We're just going to go down that list game by game and spend as much or as little time as needed. Adventure Time Finn and Jake Investigations will be at E3 from Little Orbit.
That one looks really weird.
Yeah. It's like a Adventure Time in 3D. It's not by WayForward this time. I think it's by Vicious Cycle. Where they've done a lot of. It seems like Little Orbit has kind of assumed a lot of the D3 publisher games of a couple of years ago. I know that we'll be checking it out at the show, but I know I'm not a big Adventure Time guy, so
I want to watch the show, but I just haven't really had time.
Yeah, same here.
So let's move on. Brave Tank Hero, that will be from Natsume. I know nothing about this game. I guess we'll find out about it at E3. Devil's Third is the first interesting title on this list. It's that game from Itagaki of Ninja Gaiden fame, and he's working on it with Nintendo. We haven't really heard much about this game since roughly last E3. Where do you guys stand on this game? Are you excited? Do you hope we get a big blowout? It should be out this year, after all.
For me personally, I wasn't too interested when I saw it. It didn't look like it was going to be very good to me, at least from the video we saw at last E3. But it's been a year, so I'm more of a let's wait and see on this, see what's happened over the course of the last year.
I'm somewhat intrigued by this. I mean, my game of the year last year was an M-rated game that Nintendo pulled off the scrap heap in Bayonetta 2. So
I don't think this can compete with Bayonetta 2. Like Bayonetta 2 was like hot perfection. Whereas this just seems like this was on the scrap heap for a reason, whereas Bayonetta 2 was on the scrap heap because of unfortunate events.
Yeah, but just I'm tempted to grab it just because it's an Itagaki game on a Nintendo system. It's like, what is going on with that?
I think he probably had a producer role on Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, but other than that, it might be like the first game that he directed that winds up on a Nintendo platform.
But yeah, I pre-ordered it last year during the E3 deals, so I'm not in for full price, and given the way the dollar's going here, probably even less than full price.
Yeah, I mean, Devil's Third, I assume we will find out more about it at E3. I think it'll be there in some capacity, even if it's just a Treehouse Live demo. But I know I'd have to see something far more intriguing for me to kind of care more. I do, however, care a lot about Disney Infinity 3.0 because, I'm sorry, in the year of Star Wars that 2015 is becoming, Disney Infinity 3.0 has got me by the Star Wars neck.
I think we all saw this game coming.
Yeah, like they did not bury the lead last year. Like there were interviews where they're like, "We're doing Marvel this year, and who knows? Maybe we'll go to a galaxy far, far away in 2015." Wink, wink. I mean, I'm excited to see more about this game. I know there was some buzz about it from E3 Judges Week, which was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and people seem to be really impressed by what they saw, and I hope to be very impressed by what I see in a week.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing some of the pedigree of the studios they've got working on this, like the guys who did freaking Sleeping Dogs is working on
Yeah, what is that? That's United Front, is that the name of that?
United Front, and I think they've got
Sumo Digital is doing one of the ones. Ninja Theory, the developers of the DMC, that reboot, as well as like Enslaved. That's the other one that they did.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to care about another Toys to Life thing when I'm trying to get rid of all the stuff that I've got anyway.
Yeah, I just had a yard sale this weekend in which I tried to sell a lot of Skylanders, and I just kind of had a reflection on my life and how it's gone the past year, and then I'm looking at the Amiibo being like, what were you thinking? And
just the past year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm not in on this game just because in order to enjoy it, I need to drop so much money on these toys.
Yeah. I mean, because it's kind of funny because I think out of the Toys to Life stuff, I mean, just kind of including like Skylanders, Lego Dimensions, and Disney Infinity, I still think that Disney Infinity is the one that I'm least interested in. But unfortunately or fortunately, my niece prefers Disney Infinity to Skylanders by a wide margin. And she's crazy about Star Wars, so that kind of just means by default I am all in for this game because I aspire to be the cool uncle for my niece and be her friend.
My
girlfriend's into Disney, and she's gotten the first 2 Disney Infinities. I don't think she's even started the second one, but she's not a Star Wars fan, so it's going to be kind of hard to convince her to get those toys so I can just enjoy the game.
Yeah, I hope that the single player or I guess they can be multiplayer, but like the campaigns are better than the Marvel ones. The Marvel ones were Lego games. Like that's what they kind of broke down to, and I hope that the Star Wars one, especially with the pedigree that they have behind them, are a lot better. Fatal Frame 5 is next on the list. We don't really know that much about this game, except for that it's coming out this year, so that means it will be. Once again, I think this is like Devil's Third, where it's a lock to appear at E3, even if it's just a Treehouse Live demo. Are either of you guys excited about Fatal Frame 5?
I'm interested in seeing what it does for horror on the Wii U. I'm probably not going to buy it myself, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, too. How about you, Justin?
Yeah, I'm not too interested, but I want to see how the gamepad is going to come into play on this title, because that could make it somewhat interesting. And I think we all know this game's probably coming out in October sometime.
Yeah, that makes sense. It would be a very good Halloween game, after all.
Yep.
So we got Guitar Hero Live is next on our alphabetical list, and we were just the reason why this got delayed is that our people that are going to be on the floor at E3, we were talking about our assignments and stuff, and I will be checking out Guitar Hero Live, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of stoked. I've been having a lot of thinking. I think I'm still, even though Rock Band 4 is not coming to a Nintendo platform, that is the one that I am all about. But I just want to play the damn plastic guitar again, and I'm very curious about how Guitar Hero's new guitar is going to work out. Are either of you guys interested in Guitar Hero Live?
No, but I love how excited you are to play the damn plastic guitar again.
Yeah. How's your Nintendo collection? Did you open your toys yet, Justin?
I surgically removed the security tag from Amiibo, so...
Okay, I'm clearly in the wrong conversation here because I'm intrigued by the theory of Guitar Hero Live, like what they're doing with this streaming in of video, but I'm kind of wishing I could get Rock Band on a Nintendo console at this point.
Yeah, same here. Like, I understand why Harmonix isn't going to spend the resources to bring Rock Band 4 to Wii U, because it probably wouldn't do that well. Like, there's not a big market. I think that the Wii versions of Rock Band did do pretty well with, like, considering the circumstances that, like, it released later, and the DLC situation was crap. But I don't think it's worth putting in the effort on a Wii U version of Rock Band 4 when Harmonix seems to be kind of making this, like, a little bit of a low-budget affair to an extent. But I think that, I mean, Activision with Guitar Hero Live is Guitar Hero far sold amazingly well on the Wii. So, I mean, it's definitely worth a shot, at least for 1 year, to see if they can kind of continue that success on the Wii U.
Or continue the success for guitar games, period. I mean, I don't think we're going to get to 2007 heights again. but they just have to be really careful that they don't drive it into the ground by putting out 4 games in 1 year like they did in 2010.
Yep. Moving on, Harvest Moon: Seeds of Memories. It's a Wii U version of Harvest Moon that is once again developed by Natsume internally. For those who aren't keeping up on the great Harvest Moon Sim Wars of 2004, the Great Harvest Moon Sim Wars of 2014. The developer for all of the Harvest Moon games is no longer working with Natsume. They're working with Xseed, and those games are called Story of Seasons. And Harvest Moon is using the Harvest Moon brand. That's the American name for a lot of those old Harvest Moon games. And they are making their own Natsume internally developed Harvest Moon games. The word on last year's 3DS game was that it was crap. So my hopes for this Wii U version are not high. Are either of you guys Harvest Moon aficionados?
I haven't played a Harvest Moon game, and I'm really not planning to start now. But I know it has its fans, so I do hope for the best.
Yeah.
I've done some work with Natsume's PR person before, so I'm kind of rooting for this to do well so she keeps her job. But I haven't really played a Harvest Moon since the Super Nintendo, although the fact that this one seems to be a throwback to, is supposed to be a throwback to the older Harvest Moon games, I might take a look at it, but I'm really confused about the platform choices because it's Wii U, PC, iOS, and Android.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why Wii U's there, but like, good for that because then we can cover the game. Yeah, I mean, I just like a lot of, especially with these internally developed ones by Natsume, they kind of feel like they're almost fan projects because that's what they are. There's not people involved outside of people who like worked on like the publishing end for Harvest Moon games. There aren't people who actually developed Harvest Moon games until just last year. So, hopefully it'll turn out all right, but the early returns on last year's 3DS version weren't really that great. Moving down the list, we got Lego Avengers, which is another Lego game in which you play as characters from a popular brand and fight other characters from a popular brand across a story. This one is based off of Avengers 1 and 2. That will be playable on the show floor. But the more interesting Lego game is Lego Dimensions, which is Lego's foray into Toys to Life. We know that there is going to be, at least in the starter pack, you're going to get Batman, Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, and Wildstyle from the Lego Movie. We're also going to have, what is the list? Simpsons, Back to the Future, Doctor Who, Midway Arcade, Portal, a whole litany of brands. Are you guys down for this Lego Toys to Life game?
No.
You had me at Portal.
Yeah. So it took a long time to get there.
Yeah. I'm tempted to check it out just for the Portal stuff, but honestly, what I would want is probably never going to happen because that would involve Valve developing a game.
I'm definitely interested in this, but it's just going to wind up being just a Lego game, and there's a part of me that's like, I wish they would do something more interesting with all these brands, and maybe they will. Maybe we just don't know yet. But I mean, I guess we'll kind of find out way more in about a week, and then this game will be coming out this fall, and we'll find out even more.
I want to know if Lego went to Disney or whatever. It's like, hey, how about Lego Star Wars in our game? And it's got laughed at and kind of went back home crying.
I mean, that's why Lego Avengers still exists. It's because they're like, well, we're gonna use this brand that we can't use in our Toys to Life game.
Yeah.
Then we got Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. This will probably be at E3, I guess. Who cares?
I just want them to sell the soundtrack because Brazilian remixes of Mario music. I will take that.
Yeah, I'll YouTube that.
There was one E3 I was at, and one of the Mario and Sonics was just on the show floor for 3DS, and I think maybe like 10 people touched it the whole time.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Then we got Mario Maker. That should have a pretty sizable appearance at E3 2015. given that it is the game that will be at Best Buys that people can go play on Wednesday and Saturday of the week of the show.
And it's the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers.
So what do we think is going to be like? What new is there going to be about Mario Maker at E3?
Amiibo support.
What do you think that Amiibo support will do?
You'll be able to. Well, I'm trying to think what it could do aside from unlocking new things to throw into the levels.
How awesome would it be if it's just Mario crossover? You put on Samus. You can use Samus and Mario.
That'd be amazing.
That's never going to happen, but how cool would that be?
And if you put Villager on, you could play as the Villager.
I got Mega Man and Ness back here. That'd be the first games those two have been in a long time.
Smash Brothers came out last year.
Okay, well, Mega Man's first platformer in a long time, and the first non-Smash game for Ness.
Well, you know, Smash Run's kind of a platformer.
Yeah, but I just know that I intend to be the first person to actually get to play this at a Best Buy, thanks to my time zone. So there will be impressions on the site on Wednesday.
Yeah, this is one of my most anticipated games, honestly, depending on how they really put this together. I mean, we know there's going to be an online mode, like sharing type thing, which is going to be great and really make this have an extremely high replay value as the community keeps making cooler and cooler levels. But I'm hoping there's some pre-built levels in the game too, like maybe a whole Mario game that just mixes up which type of Mario game you're playing as you go through, doing crazy stuff that you haven't been able to do before.
Because wasn't on one of those recent streams, that's when they had the stuff where it was like you can kind of make your own like worlds and set up like the structure of a game.
I think they did say something about that. And
like I
requested at last E3. I'm like, put that in the game.
I want to play all of your levels world. I ain't gonna make shit. I'm gonna be upfront about that. Like that's not happening. But,
maybe the Amiibos unlock levels based on that character's theme or something.
That would be so cool. I mean, like that would be the kind of stuff that like I would love to see happen with Amiibo. And maybe it is the kind of thing that like you only support like, 10 of the Smash Brothers characters at launch, but it's like like Samus could unlock like Metroid, even if it's just like Metroid blocks and stuff that you could use.
Or just a Metroid enemy you can throw on that level.
Yeah, like even if it's something as minor as that, just like kind of adding in this like little bit of crossover potential. Where I mean, now I'm just glancing over my Amiibos, like you could do stuff with like have Fire Emblem characters or something like that, or Zelda stuff show up in Mario Maker. Just kind of give it where you can kind of customize like the style of your levels that you make.
There's a lot of potential.
The one thing they can't do with this, they can't lock it to the Super Mario series. They've got to bring the Smash guys in. Even
once, like I said, even if it's like only 10 of them, like, oh man, like just think if it's like you can use a Mega Man sprite. I don't know about you, I'd lose my mind.
Start making Mega Man levels.
I might bring my Mega Man amiibo with me, just so that way, like, at the E3 demo, I can just be like, is it gonna work?
Yeah,
no, you
like,
can't.
Look over there. All right, gonna try. So Mighty Number 9. Speaking of Mega Man, that worked out nicely. We were talking about this at the meeting. Justin, you put how much money?
I put $250 in to get like a lot of those cool rewards and shit. Yeah, so far I'm a little disappointed what I've seen. I think the backgrounds are looking kind of bad.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've taken a look at it.
I haven't been too impressed by what I've seen, but I'm curious to see what our staffers who go play it at E3. I'm curious to see what they think when they check it out.
Yeah, I hope it's better than it looks because I'm a huge Mega Man fan, but I'm kind of down on it right now.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's something closer to, say, Mega Man X than Mega Man X6. Because the impressions that I've heard from people who've played the beta versions have been, shall we say, rough. But maybe this extra few months of polish that they're getting because of the delay could result in something that comes out really well. Who knows?
Yeah. So then we get to the projects: Project Giant Robot and Project Guard. I believe that Project Giant Robot, as recently as like a month or two ago, was still listed as its own game. I think Project Guard might have kind of fallen off of that like being labeled its own thing. But we haven't heard, outside of mentions of the name, we haven't heard a peep about either of these games since last E3. What do you think's happened to them, Justin?
I think Project Guard is probably some mini game or something in the new Star Fox, because if you remember last year, we saw the Star Fox logo on the cameras and whatnot in that game. Project Giant Robot, I'm thinking, might be an eShop game on the Wii U, or maybe there'll be some sort of free-to-play game on Wii U. But I think Miyamoto said, I don't know if it was just babbling, not meaning anything, during the Treehouse live stream last year. I think he mentioned something about this game having online for Giant Robot, so
that'd be cool.
Online play could be
fun.
That's
the only way you could really do fights.
I don't think many people have talked about that, so I figured.
Yeah. Well, they haven't really talked about the game at all since it's been a year.
Yeah, and as of the last financial report, it was still slated to Giant Robot was still slated to come out by the end of this month. Yeah. So I suspect whatever we're going to see from that, if it's not the it's available right now thing, it's going to be probably the week after E3.
Yeah, that seems to add up. Or maybe, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's like first or second week of July and it's slipped back a little bit, because they do have Art Academy for late June. But we'll see. I think we will definitely hear. I feel like we will get a release date for Giant Robot at E3. That's pretty much a guarantee. So Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, or whatever the hell this game's called now. Do we think this is going to show up at E3?
I think it might be there, but not playable.
Yeah, I think it'll be a Treehouse Live segment.
Yeah.
Treehouse Live, maybe another minute video during the digital event. That's probably the extent of it.
Yeah.
I really don't know what to make of it. I've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game, and I didn't see much Fire Emblem in that trailer, so someone who enjoys Fire Emblem, I'm just kind of like scratching my head.
A lot of the Fire Emblem elements were actually they're references that are in the video. Like, you've got to go to places like Serene Forest to see where the Fire Emblem characters are coming in, but this is very much a Shin Megami Tensei game, right down to the fact it's pretty much taking place in Tokyo.
Yeah, just with some Fire Emblem shit thrown on top. The next game is, I guess, another Neal solo project here, Skylanders Superchargers, which I actually saw last week in New York City. I think that Superchargers is probably going to be very fun, but the vehicle stuff looked like it's kind of half-assed. However, there was that thing, I think it came out of Giant Bomb, the stuff with there might be amiibo support for Skylanders.
Yeah, they meant
I kind of think that this is bullshit, but let's entertain the thought. How cool would that be?
Depending on what it did, it would really sell me on the game.
Yeah, even if it's just as simple as, once again, like Mario Maker, you don't need to have every character, but, imagine if there were 10 amiibo that you could use in Skylanders to, have characters in Skylanders. That would be incredible if, I could play as Pikachu, the Skylander.
That would be very interesting, but I'm not sure if it would get me to bite on the game, but I know I'd probably be buying a couple of copies of it for my nephew.
But yeah, so that's coming out in September, and we'll see. We'll have some hands-on with it at E3.
Man, and now, are all the Toys to Life games coming out in September? Man, you're gonna be broke.
It's called reviewing them, man.
When's Guitar Hero coming?
I think that's September or October. I don't know if they gave it an exact release.
More plastic.
Yeah, so Star Fox. That's the big one, isn't it? What in the hell do we think that this game is going to be? Justin, you tried to manage your expectations about this in an editorial on the site recently. So, what do you think we're going to see of Star Fox at E3?
I don't even know, man. At this point, it's such a
It's
wild card.
playable. I think that's a safe bet.
I
But
really
like,
don't even know what to expect. I mean, in that editorial, I talked about my grand vision of like an Ultra Star Fox game, like the game I've been waiting for them to make with that series. But I don't know if you agree with me. I really don't think that's going to be what we get with this Star Fox
no,
game.
like, and I didn't realize, like, earlier today I recorded a video that will be up on Nintendo World Report TV at some point this week. I booted up Star Fox Assault, which was the last console Star Fox game more than 10 years ago. Um,
God.
and I played the first level of that, and just kind of realized that that game's not that good. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't
and,
a fan of
and
it when it came
it's
out.
so weird because Star Fox 64 and even the original, like those games are so good, and it just seems like they don't know what the hell to do with that game anymore.
Well, Nintendo hasn't made any of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've all been outsourced projects. Like I think wasn't Assault Namco,
yeah.
and you would think those guys would know how to do a combat flight game, but
And
apparently
like
not.
64 3D was a fantastic port. Like I still think that that's one of the prettiest
Mhm.
games on 3DS and 3D. Um, but I just like all they need to do is make another game like Star Fox 64, like add an online co-op, and everyone will be fine. But I just don't know if that's a safe assumption.
I think what you guys are probably going to get to play like a level or two of it at the show, but I think the big thing that's going to come out of it is how they're distributing it, and I think it's going to end up a lot like Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Yeah,
Like
I
you'll,
think that makes perfect sense because I don't know how the hell that this full game would be ready for the fall.
but you can
Unless it's
probably
just a really small game.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you probably see like you'd get a season pass for $30, we'll say, and it gives you one episode a month. And then once it's all done, early next year, there's a roll up of all of the episodes on a disc for say 50, and it comes with a Fox amiibo.
and like I've been talking about this a lot with Splatoon, and how that rollout plan of I mean, so far Splatoon has been out for about a week. We've had two weapons and a map added, and I mean ranked battle was opened up as well, but we kind of knew about that already. But we've already had all that, and it seems like kind of going from like how Mario Kart 8 they had the two DLC packs. Smash Brothers had, the DLC character. 2 months later, another DLC character. It seems like they're kind of shrinking that span of, here's a new game and here's our rollout of content. Um, and fortunately, I think they've been doing a very good job of how they've structured it because I think that you get bang for your buck on Mario Kart 8 for damn sure. And I think the Smash Brothers stuff, the costumes might be a little ridiculously priced, but it's not really that bad. And Splatoon, it's all baked into the cost of the game already. I think that Star Fox will kind of expand on that more and have a slightly different attempt on this idea of releasing a game and then supporting it more like a service. And yeah, it'll probably be that episodic content where maybe it's even not just once a month. Maybe it's like every other week there's going to be like a new set of levels and like another multiplayer map or something. I hope that there's multiplayer in Star Fox. I think it would make a lot of sense.
I hope if there is multiplayer, it's not done like it was on Star Fox 64 3D.
Yeah. Although I mean that multiplayer was awesome. It's just that it was local only.
I thought it could be better. I don't know.
I mean, like when I actually had 4 people to play that locally, Star Fox 64 3D's multiplayer was great. And I mean, it was a little limited, but it's also the idea of having 4 people around to play that is kind of rare.
And I'm sure whenever this game does come out, that's going to be the same day an Amiibo wave launches with the Falco Amiibo.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll even have a whole Star Fox line. Maybe you'll have R-Wings, Landmasters.
First Four Figures does have the Star Fox license now. They teased that, so an R-Wing is in development. We've seen a very close-up shot of it.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks here. Do we think that a Legend of Zelda Wii U trailer will be shown during E3?
Yes.
No.
Because it'll be shown at the Nintendo World Championships, not E3, right? Right?
No.
Well, I'm counting that as part of E3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty convinced that like that's where they'll have like I mean I don't know exactly. Still, really, we're a week out. I have no idea how the hell World Championships is going to be structured, but I think that it'll be like either right before like the final two contestants play. They'll be like, and here's a Zelda trailer, and it'll blow our minds away. Like everybody will be talking about that on Monday. It'll be incredible.
I've been burned before taking Nintendo at their word, but this seems like something where I'd have to take them at their word and go with there's not going to be any Zelda at this E3.
They also said they'd never make mobile games.
Yeah, and they also said they weren't doing a 3DS revision at E3, and then they announced, 2 weeks later?
I mean, that's kind of where I, like... And also, I think it would be dumb to not have anything with Zelda Wii U, because if you do think back to last year, that fucking 30 seconds of video was, like, the thing that everybody talked about at E3.
Is Link a girl?
Yeah. That was a discussion for, like, 3 days. Anuma had to, like, go publicly, like, be like, I was just saying, like, Link can be whatever you make it. like, that was a guy, but, like, you're Link.
I wonder if that actually caused the delay because they want to give an option for a female Link. That is the thing that's going to change the series.
Anuma's video should have just been him being like, you know, if it weren't for you motherfuckers, like, we'd have this game out. But no, you all complained.
I don't think Nintendo can afford not to show this game because everybody's already talking about it, and people are going to want to have some sort of update at the event on what's going on with this game because it's easily one of the most anticipated games on the platform. And if you can show that this game is still coming along and it looks incredible, you could sell some systems.
I should, you know what? I'm friends with E.G. Anuma on Facebook. I'm going to see if he's talking about prepping for a flight. But while we get there, talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X. What do you think it's going to be shown? How do you think it's going to be shown at the show?
I don't know. Go ahead, Donald.
I'm thinking an extended Treehouse session, a couple of minutes of the digital event will be Xenoblade with localized text, and at the end of it, they'll say it's available in October.
Yeah, if we don't see this game with English text in voice acting and whatnot, I do not think this game's coming out this year. When they had that mini direct for the game a couple months ago, I was in shock that they didn't have anything in English there. I almost thought the game was going to be delayed because how can they go this long without having any text to show off in English?
I mean, I think it might just be that. I mean, because this game was, I think Monolith made comments that it was finished in February. They were probably working with like an in-development build, and when they had that direct, the localized version that they were working on might not have been complete or totally up to date, so they just used the final Japanese version that was like coming out that day. I do kind of agree that if they show it at E3 and it's not a localized version, then like that's a huge red flag. But I feel pretty confident that when Xenoblade Chronicles X inevitably shows up in some capacity at E3, we'll see it in at least the section that we see will be almost entirely in English.
I don't know if this will be playable on the show floor just because games like this really don't demo that well.
Yeah. But
Treehouse Live definitely.
So the E.G. Anuma update on Facebook a month ago. He posted on Facebook about Splatoon, and the Bing translation for what he posted was, a range of good naming is, yes, I go to war. So, who knows what the hell he's up to. So maybe he'll be at E3.
That's why Zelda's delayed. He's been playing Splatoon.
I think if Anuma is going to E3, something with Zelda will be there. So, keep your eye on Japanese flight records and see if Anuma, E is coming to America.
They do need a November game for 3DS, so.
Yeah.
Link's Crossbow and Splatoon.
So Yoshi's Woolly World is the last game that we have on our Wii U retail game list. This game's like Don Koopman is going to have a review of this game that I think goes up before E3 even happens. Or maybe after. I don't know. I'm probably saying more than I should. But yeah, it's coming out in Europe in like 2 weeks. It seems like it's awesome. It'll probably be playable, but it won't be that exciting because it's out in Europe in like a week and a half.
I know. I think that's the big thing that makes me less excited to see this game at E3 is just that the final version is going to be available in some regions so soon that I don't know why we should spend that much time on it. And I think the only reason it got delayed here is because they need to make Amiibo for us.
Yep. So on the Wii U eShop, we have Armacrog. Are either of you guys keeping up to date on this game?
I really don't know much about it.
Neither do I.
No, same here.
We have some people on staff that care a lot about this game. Found out that John Raritan is a giant fan of this developer's past work, apparently. Art Academy Home Studio, that long-delayed Wii U game, that'll probably be at E3 in some capacity, but might just be limited to Treehouse Live, because I don't know if that's a game that demos that well.
And you can already buy it.
Yeah. Mutant Mud Super Challenge on the Wii U eShop will actually be... We'll be meeting up with Jules from Renegade Kid before the show, hanging out with him, playing this game. Should be out like within a month, so that's cool. Project Treasure, the Bandai Namco game that I still haven't watched that trailer that was on Nintendo's YouTube. Did either of you guys watch that?
I did.
I did, yeah.
What did you guys think?
I really don't know what to think even after watching the trailer. It just shows 4 characters running around through like a dungeon of some sorts, fighting guys and collecting treasure.
It sort of struck the same nerves I get when I go for Monster Hunter, but I am really worried about this being where it's a free-to-play game, how they're going to monetize things like drops, because that could get out of hand really quickly.
So, what do you think if this shows up at E3? How do you think it's going to be shown off?
Probably just run that video.
Yeah.
If they're really confident about it, then they'll have a demo station where 4 people can play together. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. And just kind of rounding out, I'll touch on some of these quickly. Runbow, that'll be at E3. That is from 13 AM Games. It's that crazy, like, 8-player, multiplayer, competitive platformer.
9.
Looks really, really cool. Oh, yeah, 9 player. I'm very excited to play more of that game, and especially to get it in my home to play it with friends. I had a blast with it at PAX East, and I can't wait to play more. We got Zeo Drifter, which was just announced as coming to Wii U in the near future. And probably, I think the most interesting Wii U eShop game is Yooka-Laylee from Playtonic Games. It's the kind of spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. We will be checking this game out at E3, and I'm very excited to see what comes of it. Where do you guys kind of stand on Yooka-Laylee?
I'm a bit skeptical right now because I know a lot of people have fond memories of all those rare 3D platformers, and I love Banjo-Kazooie, but I hated DK64 and Banjo-Tooie. So I really hope this is more like Kazooie. It doesn't have like the giant worlds that the later games had that just made it less fun to me, and there was too much to collect, and I felt like I was never really making any progress in the game because of that.
Yeah, Neil, my one request for the team at E3 for Yooka-Laylee, get a Baphomet count.
All right, that is noted. So now we move on to 3DS. First one on our alphabetical list is Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, which kind of the more I think about it, the more I just have to accept that I'm going to get this dumb game and play a lot of it and use the stupid amiibo cards. Are you guys in the same boat as me?
I'm in very deep on this game because I want to get all 100 amiibo cards. But we don't know too much about this yet. I don't think we know enough about this game to really understand what it's going to be, but I'm glad we're getting something like this instead of an Animal Crossing on Wii U because I'm really not interested in having that series on a home console right now.
I feel like they need to kind of make a lot of... and I still think that there's a chance that we hear about an Animal Crossing game on Wii U at this E3, but I don't think it'll be a 2015 release. But I feel like they need to answer some questions about how to make a home Animal Crossing game, and I think that the only way to make that is have it talk to the 3DS version in some way. So maybe that's what Happy Home Designer will kind of work with the Wii U Animal Crossing game whenever it does come out. I just feel like Animal Crossing just works so much better as a portable game.
Exactly how I feel.
I personally not a fan of Animal Crossing. Didn't really get into New Leaf all that much. I'm thinking Animal Crossing will get announced for 2015 during the digital event, though. So because in lieu of Zelda, they need something that can do decent numbers for the holiday, and Animal Crossing is that last thing if they don't want to go back to the Mario well again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Happy Home Designer, if pitched right, will do very well, and I think it will be an October or November release. This game won't be coming out in 2015, but it's slated for early 2016, and that is Bravely Second End Layer, which I think we saw. Well, I think that it'll pop up in a Treehouse Live video, but I think that the announcement of it at the end of the most recent Direct Mini or Direct Micro or whatever, I think that that's mostly all of what we're going to see of Bravely Second at this E3.
Yeah, I'm honestly not expecting to see very much of anything 3DS at E3. In all fairness, because they had this Direct Micro, I think mainly to get the 3DS stuff out of the way, so they can focus on the Wii U at E3, which is unfortunately more for me, more of a console show.
Yeah, the last few years at E3 also Nintendo hasn't really been focusing on the 3DS on the show floor as much.
Yeah, like I mean, last year was probably the biggest showing of the 3DS since the Wii U came around, and that was mainly because they had like a whole bunch of Smash Brothers 3DS systems set up. Other than that, like I think you could play like Sonic and the Shattered Crystal that was attached to a woman walking around the booth, and like maybe a Layton game. Chibi Robo Ziplash, which is one of those 3DS games that was announced. I think that this one will be playable. It'll probably be, like I just mentioned, Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal. It'll be like that, where there will be a woman with a Mario or Luigi hat walking around the Nintendo booth, and when you were online for a Wii U game, they'll be like, hey, you want to play this game? And it'll probably be Chibi Robo.
And she'll have the amiibo hanging around her neck so that you can try that function as well.
That probably makes sense. That would be a very good idea. Unless, I mean, I always would love to see Nintendo have a different booth layout. I thought their booth layout last year was awesome, especially because they had like the giant Smash Brothers stage for people to go play up on it. But I think that Chibi Robo Ziplash, I feel like, is a game that will demo well. It's a platformer. It's pretty simple to get across.
I love platformers, but I don't know why they turned Chibi Robo into a platformer.
It looks like it's got a dope Bionic Commando-like mechanic, so I don't care what this game is called. It
looks fun.
Yeah. It's called that. None of the other Chibi Robo things seem to really work.
Well, this one
Chibi Robo is like the new Kirby. Like they're just like, all right, we got this idea. Should we put in a character? Would Kirby work? No. How about Chibi Robo? Okay.
And it will get like 600,000 pre-orders the week of E3 because of that, because of the amiibo included.
Yep.
Another game that I don't think this will be Chibi Robo is going to be a 2015 release, October to be exact, at least in North America. Fire Emblem or Fire Emblem, like the latest game in the Fire Emblem series or whatever we're calling it in America right now. I think that's the last confirmed date for that was 2016, which I think it might be deeper into 2016 depending on when Bravely Second comes out. But this is a game that I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up in demo form at E3. What do you guys think?
It's possible. If it's like a short level, because they can really compact like a little tutorial level and really show it off.
Yeah, I think that's about the extent of it. I think they're going to leave the base building stuff they just announced and immediately set off 30,000 pieces of fan art. That will probably stay away from this show for now. But I do wonder how much they can show given the game comes out in Japan like the week after E3.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this might be another thing, like how we were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X, how like not seeing the English text was kind of worrying. If this game does show up at E3, If we see English text, that's good. That means there's chances that it comes out sooner rather than later.
Well, what do you think the distribution method's going to be on this game in North America?
I don't think they can get away with doing trying to sell two versions of this game. They can't Pokemon this. So what'll end up being localized will probably be the Japanese special edition that comes with both, and they'll probably go to Atlas pricing for it.
I think that makes sense. Where you'll have it where it comes with the 2 campaigns, and then the third one's still DLC. Moving down the list, Great Detective Pikachu, which is that Pokemon game that has been kind of talked about in vague terms for a long time.
Did we finally see it?
No.
No. It's as simple as that. I think we can move
on.
a
better magnifying glass there, Neal. This is it. I think we're seeing it.
Okay, what do you think we're going to see?
I don't know.
All right, Hatsune Miku.
But it's gonna have Pikachu amiibo support.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's all it needs.
Pokemon in the Pokemon game. Good call. Or no, it'll come with a Detective Pikachu amiibo.
That would be amazing.
I really want to see what the hell this game is, because it's just this idea that's been out there that's all right, what is it going to be like? Pikachu Phoenix Wright? That'd be awesome.
Well, in the Pokemon games, in the more recent ones, isn't there that one detective guy, Looker or whatever? So maybe you play with him.
Yeah. The only thing is, I have 700 words on NintendoWorldReport.com explaining what Pokemon side project is coming at E3, and it's not Great Detective Pikachu.
And we'll get to that a little bit later. So moving down, Hatsune Miku Project Mirai, or I don't know how to say that.
Yep, Mirai.
Hatsune Miku on 3DS. I do not think this will be at E3 at all, actually, because Sega won't be there.
Could be in Nintendo's booth, though, right?
Yeah, I guess it could be. I don't think it's a big enough game. It was supposed to be out already. It got delayed in the 11th hour. I think basically so Atlas could Atlas it. Or I guess Sega could Atlas it, because Sega and Atlas are under the same branch. Because it's getting a big ass special edition and stuff.
It still blew my mind that this game was going to come out in Japan last of all territories.
That is crazy.
LBX, Little Battlers Experience. We found out that that's coming out in August. It's a level 5 game that's like a mech battler. This might show up as a demo or something, but
I do have something to say about this.
Okay.
I've never seen the anime or anything. Only thing I know is this trailer, and the whole time I'm like, wow, Nintendo is going to be publishing a custom Robo ripoff. Does this game look exactly like Custom Robo?
It does look like Custom Robo, but guess what? They're not making Custom Robo games anymore.
I don't know. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is Custom Robo. It's even battling in the box or whatever. Come on.
I want to try that 6-player multiplayer mode. However, I have the feeling this is one of these games that I will be the only person who buys it.
Yeah. So, I might buy it, but we don't live nearby, so nope.
Yeah. I'll hitchhike down to PAX East next year because all my money is going toward getting to E3 next year.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can hitchhike to PAX East. We'll meet up. We'll hopefully find 4 other people, and then we'll play the 6-player mode. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. I'm just not going to say anything. You guys can say something if you want to, but I give 0 shits about this game.
I can't play more than 5 minutes of a Mystery Dungeon game.
I played a bunch of Etrian Mystery Dungeon. I reviewed it for Nintendo Force magazine. And that was probably the closest I've ever come to enjoying a Mystery Dungeon game. But that's also because that was a very gentle Mystery Dungeon game. There's just... I wish I liked roguelikes more than I do, or at least like the traditional roguelikes more than I do, because I do love stuff like Spelunky. But I reviewed... for RFN fans who would be listening to this, how James Jones complains about that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game he had to review. That was my first ever review at Nintendo World Report, and I reviewed it alongside him, and that was hell. I hate that game, and I don't have any urge to ever play another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game.
it just makes me sad to play that game. Like it feels like torture.
What
Yeah.
Neal? Everything Neal said except for the reviewing part. That's me as well. So we'll let Alex handle this one.
Yep. So Project Cross Zone 2. Found out that we're gonna have to rely on home team supplying us questions for an interview that we have with this. Project Cross Zone 2 is a game that I played the demo of the original one, and I just didn't really jive with me. Donald, did you play this game at all?
I played about halfway through, and then the battle started lasting over an hour, and I have my limits with how long I will go in RPGs, and those are about what I was getting out of Lord of Magna recently. So, yeah, if my main worry for this is that they don't tone down the battles and that they go even more over the top and lengthy.
All right.
But it's also the only way to play as Mega Man Legends characters on a Nintendo platform right now, so we got to take what we get.
Maybe Mega Man 64 will come to the Virtual Console.
I will. No. Well, maybe. I don't know. That'd be cool. I would get that.
If Capcom does another dump of Virtual Console games for the next 12 months on E3 Monday, I'll be happy.
Yeah. No, I mean that was great. Even though I was so excited for Demon's Crest, and I still haven't played Demon's Crest. I bought Demon's Crest the day it came out, but I haven't played it yet. I really want to. I should do that. Like after this, take some caffeine and stay up, man. So Rhythm Heaven on 3DS. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna be playing that shit this week. Because I remembered when I saw people on Twitter talking about the new Rhythm Heaven game on 3DS. I'm like, oh crap! I bought a Japanese 3DS last year for Smash Brothers. That means I can play the new Rhythm Heaven game.
I'm a big Rhythm Heaven fan. I cannot wait for this.
Yeah.
I would be playing it except for the damn region lock.
So.
No spoilers though, Neal.
Well, here's the plan. If they don't have a demo, we can still write impressions off of my Japanese copy of the game.
Do it.
Just be like, was it on the show floor? No.
We bootleg the Japanese version.
Yeah, I mean this. I feel like that. I mean this would be because it's a game that demos really well too. I feel, and you have to think that this game's going to come over.
If it doesn't, I'm going to cry. I really am going to cry because I love
think it could be as soon as it's coming out this year.
This sounds like the game we're going to find out about when we look at Nintendo's YouTube channel after the digital event and see, why is there a Rhythm Heaven trailer up?
And then there was much rejoicing, and I'll be like, damn it, I bought the Japanese version.
Yeah, I think there's a few things going against it for showing up on the show floor, and one is that it's on 3DS.
Yeah.
And two, I don't know if you were there. You had to be there when they showed Rhythm Heaven Fever on Wii at E3.
Yep.
It wasn't getting a lot of play. There was only one demo unit.
Well, wasn't that the one that was right next to Fortune Street? It was just really sad.
Yeah, it was in that same area, I think. And I went back to Rhythm Heaven so many times. I'm like, guys, you got to check out this game. And I kept bringing people back, and they're like, it's not bad.
I played that demo a lot, and then I would always when I was tired of E3 that year, I would go and play the Fortune Street demo because it was just this really laid back person running it that would just be like, all right, you want to play a game? And then I just.
Yeah, I remember that.
Being very mellow in a loud E3 and just playing Fortune Street.
I think they were just happy to find people to play.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to play anymore because it's let's get 4 people here.
All right, so Senran Kagura 2. Paging Zach Miller.
Looks like a big game.
Yeah, very large.
Very top heavy.
All right, Donald wins. Moving on. Skylander Superchargers on 3DS. I don't think that'll show up as playable. And then we got Stella Glow from Atlas. I don't know much about this. I will kind of defer to you on this one, Donald, since you're a resident Atlas guy.
And the only thing I know about this is that the developer of the game has had some, shall we say, drama in Japan involving a disappearing CEO.
What? This sounds way more interesting. I need to read up on this.
Yeah. The late lamented Image Epic, their CEO apparently dropped off the face of the earth in about February, right as this game was going gold in Japan, and nobody's heard from them since.
What the hell? It's not even like it's like it's like this small developer. Like, no, that company's been around for a while.
Yeah, and now they're dead.
That's sad.
Yeah,
I know I heard that like they were shutting down. I didn't realize that was the circumstances.
yeah, but I get the feeling that based on what some things that their PR guy John has been saying recently, I suspect that it's not the only Atlas game you'll be seeing.
Yeah, I mean that seems it. Atlas usually has a couple good surprises. They've been on a hell of a roll. I think I actually did the math, and they've published just about as many games on 3DS this year as Nintendo has.
Although, can we not talk about the last one they did, please?
Attack on Titan. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And although there's one, I think is NIS America going to E3 this year, because I know they have Rodea coming out on Wii U and 3DS.
That's a good. I'll have to see if I can contact anyone. I haven't heard anything. I kind of assume that they might not be there, but usually companies like that do show up.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like in a small capacity. But I'll have to reach out because I don't mind seeing Rodea. I've heard really bad things about the Wii U and 3DS version, but apparently that Wii U version is awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, I know Xseed's going to be there because they have like 8 games they announced on Friday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't have this on here, but the Story of Seasons game that's based off of an anime, I think.
It's a crossover with a 1990s series that started in the 90s on the PS1, Popolo Croy.
Okay.
And it is the only game this year I think that's going to have could have a longer title than Record Breaker's full one.
Yeah, because what is it? It's Popolo Croy, like a Story of Seasons tale or something?
Popolo Croy, a Story of Seasons fairy tale.
Okay, yeah. If it's like a cheaper version, or like a cheaper, smaller version of Story of Seasons, I might actually bite. Just because I was very curious with Story of Seasons, and then everything that I read about it was kind of like, this game's long as shit. And I'm like, well, I'm never going to play that much of it.
Yeah, it does have a more defined character from what Xseed has been saying on prominent internet message boards. Not just NeoGAF in this case. So that might be worth looking into, I think.
Yeah. Then we got Style Savvy 3, which that came out, or at least Girls Mode 3, the Japanese name for the game. That version came out a couple months ago in Japan. I don't know if we'll really see. I mean, this once again, like Rhythm Heaven, it might be the kind of thing that after the digital event, we'll just see a video for it go up. I think it'll probably come over. I think it's more of a matter of when, not if. But I guess we'll see. I should probably crack open my copy of Style Savvy Trendsetters that I got for very cheap on Amazon like 3 years ago and haven't touched.
We should both do it, man. I haven't touched it.
Okay, all right. E3 flight, man. I'm gonna put away Puzzle and Dragons and start designing outfits.
This one has a better chance of coming over just because of the you-know-what support. But I will defer.
It has Amiibo support, doesn't it?
It does.
But I will defer any concerns about Style Savvy to our friend Seren.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just follow. God, what's her Twitter handle?
She's linked it from at Four Corner Games. That's good that way.
Yeah, she made the game I've Got to Run on Wii U and 3DS. And she's also a person who has a Japanese 3DS and talks a lot about those games. So she'll probably also be chirping about Rhythm Heaven later this week, along with me. Theater Rhythm Dragon Quest, I don't think is going to be at E3, and I don't know if that game's coming to America, and that pisses me off.
I made a very, very stupid prediction on another show last night. I predicted that although Theater Rhythm doesn't show up, a combo pack of Dragon Quest 7 and 8 does. I want that to happen so bad. I'm going to blame you. If this doesn't happen, you're fired. Thanks, Square. I mean, like all the Dragon, like I love the Dragon Quest series, and like I'm gonna get Dragon Quest Heroes, like day one, man. I love that. I love that series. I love that franchise.
And it just kills me that it's like in this weird nebulous, like no one gives a shit phase in North America.
Well, they relied on Nintendo to publish the main games on 3DS here. So I'm guessing if Nintendo doesn't think it's going to sell, they're just going to not do it.
Yep.
As far as 7 and 8 goes, that is.
And I guess to close out our 3DS stuff, Yokai Watch. Do we think that that's going to show up at E3 in some capacity?
I think so.
Maybe a behind closed doors for it, because there is a lot of Yokai Watch still to come in Japan. But I know 2016 is bloody loaded for RPGs between Fire Emblem, Bravely Second, and probably a new Pokemon game, but I still think Yokai Watch is going to sneak out in that early 2016 slot as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they have all these RPGs to play with that are all slated for early 2016. Like that could be brutal for people who want to keep up with all of them.
Me.
Yeah, no, I'm there too. Like, although I still haven't finished Bravely Default, the first one.
Don't worry, I haven't either.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it too. It's not that I didn't like it; it's a time sink, man.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to the part that everybody hates yet.
Yeah, no, that's about where I stopped, but I enjoyed it. But anyway, let's knock out the 3DS eShop games. SteamWorld Heist, we'll be seeing that on 3DS for the first time. That's the follow-up to SteamWorld Dig from Image and Form. We got Dementium Remastered, and likely Treasure Knots from Renegade Kid will also show up at E3 in some capacity.
And good move on Renegade Kid's part. They're not going episodic with Dementium.
I think Jules has been very public about the fact that Moon Chronicles bombed because of the DLC stuff, or like the episodic stuff. It was a worthwhile experiment that did not work.
Mm. And throwing the first episode into a Humble Bundle certainly helped, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does.
Okay, so closing this out, we have a list of hardware stuff, like the Amiibo 3DS adapter that will shortly come out alongside Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, which will have Amiibo cards. We also have the Chibi Robo Amiibo, Smash Brothers Amiibo Wave 5, and I guess that might be 6 as well, or it depends on how it's all broken up. But there's Dr. Mario, Olimar, Bowser Jr., that's all coming out.
Yeah, some people are calling it Wave 5A and Wave 5B.
Yeah, because I think it's like one wave in Europe, and then it's like split into 2 in North America.
The only thing I want to know about Amiibo at E3 is when the hell are they reprinting Shulk so I can stop buying these stupid things.
They just did.
Yeah.
Okay.
My girlfriend got the Shulk from GameStop, opened it up, and it's missing his left arm.
Yeah, I've heard a couple have come out with him with no left arm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to run to EB. I'm gonna have to run to my EB Games tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's very recent. Like I've seen stuff on social media in like the past couple days about it. Yoshi's Woolly World Amiibo, which we'll see that adorable crap. So before we get to the Pokemon fighting thing, what other Amiibo do we think are going to be shown off or discussed at this E3?
Star Fox is a good bet.
Star Fox.
And I think with what we're going to talk about next, there's going to be some Amiibo for that.
I think that we're going to see a Mario Maker line.
Yeah, that'd be great with like 8-bit Mario and stuff like
that. I think we probably will see the first indications of if they're going to have Amiibos for the new Fire Emblem. Because we know that the old ones are going to work, but the problem is, aside from the one that I've got here that we're going to be giving away on the site soon, you don't know, like nobody's got those Amiibos in North America.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Justin, I'm going to be adding Lucina and Robin to my collection soon. Thanks, bro.
No problem,
me, bro.
And the rest of us are going to have to go raid Australia, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently Australia is loaded.
Well, they got different boxes, so...
I just want the character.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're into that, fine.
Right. I mean, look at what we know about. Like, I think Fire Emblem Amiibo, like even if it's like a small, like Mario Party 10 size line, like maybe a couple of those characters, maybe some legacy ones.
Yeah, I think moving forward with Amiibo, you're going to see a lot more smaller sets like the Splatoon stuff. I think they really bit off more than they could chew with the Smash Brothers series.
Mhm.
And while it seems like a good idea at first, the popularity was way more than they could have predicted, and now it's just caused a bunch of supply problems. And if you limit how many are in each series, it makes it a lot easier for people to just get what they want and get out.
Still can't find a Splatoon 3 pack for love or money, and it kind of sucks because I bought the game today. It arrives next week.
You aren't up at 3 a.m. F5ing every site?
I'm just kind of looking at the list of games to see if there's anything else that kind of jumps out as amiibo potential. Mario Maker is still, that's the one that Star Fox.
Xenoblade X maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's I'll put that firmly, and I don't know.
Because I'd
with
love
Yokai.
to see. Yeah.
I mean, there could be more, but it's probably going to be for some game we don't know about.
Yeah. Now, okay, so let's end by talking about that. What games that we don't know about do you think are going to show up at E3? Donald, let's start with you.
Okay, so I think we're going to see the Wii U Animal
Crossing. Oh yeah,
Crossing.
and also talk about Pokken Tournament too.
Yeah, because Pokken is due out in arcades in Japan next month, and I think they're going to want to have something big from Pokemon this year, and Super Mystery Dungeon is not it. I'm sorry. So they come out with the big fighting game, and it's going to end up. We'll see probably what we saw with Splatoon from last year, because it's going to end up coming out in the Splatoon slot.
Yeah, I think you were dead on with this. When you mentioned it and wrote the article, I was just like, yep, tip of a hat, because I think that's what will happen.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm pretty sure there's going to be amiibo released for this title.
Mm-hmm. I think the other things we're going to see are the Wii U Animal Crossing, and channeling the 3 episodes of RFN I was on, Metroid will be at E3.
That is what I feel like as well. I think I made the comment last year when Reggie wore that pin at, what was it, VGX, the Metroid pin.
Yeah.
I think that following E3, I said if they don't talk about Metroid, then they're just a bunch of assholes. And then they turned out to be just a bunch of assholes. But I think that Metroid for certain is going to show up at this E3. I hope that it's a game coming out later this year, but probably the even money's on it being a 2016 game that they announced for the first time.
I could see they may even do that big 3DS November game is Metroid, and then they show the first logo or screens, whatever, of whatever a Wii U Metroid would be.
Like, how cool would it be if it was like Next Level Games working on a side-scrolling 2D Metroid on 3DS, and then have Retro working on a new Metroid game on Wii U, with the Next Level Games one coming out this year and Metroid on Wii U slated for 2016.
I really would rather have a Metroid game on 3DS right now, just because I want to know what they can come up with for the different 3D perspectives and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, I want a 2D game where you jump between the planes and really mess around with that type of stuff.
I want that very bad. I want that very, very badly. I would be totally fine with a new Prime, but I just want to see Nintendo's best and brightest working on a game even if it turns out to be like Fusion level.
I really want a Metroid game like Metroid 5, I guess, because they've stopped the whole storyline after Fusion, and it's kind of like, well, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
What I'm hoping for is basically that we get a Shadow Complex that's portable and has a storyline that's written by someone who's not a homophobe.
That would be amazing. And someone who's not Sakamoto as well, because
I do want to make another guess of something that we'll see at E3.
Yeah, fire away, man.
This is the time for us to have Mother 3 come to America. This is it. Man. If not now, never. Because we're getting Lucas, and it just seems, and it's Earthbound anniversary this year, I believe. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just passed the 20th anniversary of it, I think, in North America.
Yeah.
if it's not now, I don't know when the hell else you can do it.
Okay, now I'm just going to repeat. On the 4th day of E3, Iwata gave to me 4 splat rollers, 3 red shells, 2 Paracoopas, and a cartridge of Mother 3.
I want to believe, but at this point, I will not honestly believe it until I have booted it up for the first time on the system. Because
it's kind of like when Earthbound came to Virtual Console, I felt the same way.
it's like, wait,
Like I didn't believe it until I spent money to buy it and then booted it up and saw it there. Like when I saw that, like, because that was when I don't know if it was a direct or it was just like a video. But when I saw that, I was like, whoa, like no, that's not gonna happen. They're kidding.
Yeah, but I know what I want it to be, but I know it's not going to happen, which is like a Mother collection for 3DS.
Yeah.
Because I loved it.
Awesome.
Because, I mean, Mother 3 was a GBA game. I'd like to be able to play that portably, and it'd be cool to have a version of Earthbound that's portable. But
well, they had, I think it was the Mother 1 and Mother 2 Game Boy Advance collection in Japan.
Yeah.
They can release the trilogy if they wanted to in 2 separate games, because the first game might be kind of hard to sell on its own.
The first game's not very good.
The first game.
Oh my God, Mother 3 is like people like Earthbound is a great game. Don't get me wrong, but Mother 3 just blows it out of the water in every respect. Although it does have a little bit of like a Chrono Cross like story, where it's just like it's tied to the previous game, but like in a way that's like kind of weird, and a lot of people probably won't like it. But I am a huge fan of the stupid things that Chrono Cross does.
Well, I've never played Mother 3, and I really want to, so...
Yeah.
I did the work to get that, but I actually bought the player's guide for the fan translation when they sold it.
Yeah, no, I have that. I can... Hold on.
I only play my Mother games when Bill Trinan looks at them.
He wasn't even working for Nintendo
I
then.
know! Just shut up, Neal. I meant Mother 3.
Yeah, but... The question is, would it be announced for out right now, say at the World Championships, or would it be coming in the direct or the digital event video itself? Because
it's a wild card.
Yeah, because Lucas comes out.
It's beautiful shit.
Yeah, Lucas comes out at 11 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday of E3 week.
I'm gonna be in the air, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna be like sitting there twitching.
The download is not that big.
Justin, you and I, okay. When we land, because I think, oh no, we're like the last people to land from our group. I was gonna say if we landed earlier, then we're finding Wi-Fi. But like that's gonna be like I'm probably I've been trying to like save my phone data up for E3 so that way like I can have it if I need it. Like if I need internet somewhere, but I can tell you how I'm gonna use. I'm going to set up my phone as a hotspot right when I land in LA, and I'm going to download Lucas on my 3DS and then burn through all of my data.
You going to get both versions?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, me
Get
too.
everything, both versions.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is the thing, is like, with Mewtwo, I don't like playing as Mewtwo. Like, I mean, I got him for free, so that's great. For Lucas, like, I actually really liked Lucas in Brawl, so I am very excited.
I wasn't a huge fan, but I really liked his up smash. Like, it was so devastating.
So
it's devastating, man. So you just like run up to like a group of people and you up smash and you,
He was definitely, as far as the 2 Earthbound guys, I love playing as a Lucas compared to Ness.
You know, after what Donald said, I really think if Mother 3 is coming out, it will be same day. I think it could happen.
Maybe.
How long have they been sitting? They could have been sitting on it for a while now.
I feel like, I mean, it's like there are certain, and going into, I guess, a prediction that I'll kind of make after this, there are things that Nintendo, especially in America, has been teasing for a while that I feel like it needs to end a certain way, or else they're just cruel to their fans. It's like Reggie with the Metroid pin. It's like the crack that they made to Mother fans at E3 during the digital event last year.
When they fireballed Chris Kohler in the face for asking about Mother 3.
I do remember. I think it was for Wii Sports Resort, at an event in New York. I think Jared and I did an interview with Bill Trinan, and the last question, and like I don't know if we actually posted it as a video or if we just had the audio, but as we finished, Jared's just like listing off like 10 games that are like, what about what is it, like Another Code R, Mother 3,
The last
Xenoblade, like basically like this would have been like 2009-ish, like all these games that like Disaster was one of them, and like Trinan just laughed at us and then walked away. It's like maybe later. But I think that and some comments from Reggie about the Virtual Boy and the fact that it popped up in that goofy little Nintendo World Championships video. I think that we're gonna have Virtual Boy coming to 3DS Virtual Console.
If it does, I think it might only be new 3DS.
That could very well be. I don't know what kind of limitations it would have.
Well, the Virtual Boy had the 2 D-pads, so
yeah, very true.
Replicate that with a regular 3DS.
Not a lot of games really use that well.
But Red Alarm.
I guess Red Alarm and like Teleroboxer were the only two that kind of use that.
Yeah, but I just want that just to play that first Virtual Boy Wario Land game. And
oh, it's so good. Actually, I have my Virtual Boys out and about.
And yeah, because you got to get ready for that convention outside of the Too Many Games on the 26th of June.
27th, I think, is when. I think the convention itself starts on the 26th, but our panel is the 27th. And to pimp that, if you live in the Philadelphia area, outside of Philadelphia, there is a convention called Too Many Games that I was at last year, and we did like some That Nintendo Year stuff live. Now we're doing a 20th anniversary of the Virtual Boy. So I'm prepping for that and replaying a lot of my Virtual Boy games, and that Wario Land game is still so good. Everything else on the Virtual Boy, like comes out of Virtual Console, I'll totally buy it. Like Teleroboxer's interesting. Like Nestor's Funky Bowling's kind of amusing. Mario's Tennis is a mildly fun tennis game. Mario Clash does some really cool things.
And then there's Waterworld.
Yeah,
which is never coming out on Virtual Console.
I'm not proud to say that I have put in some eBay bids that were kind of high that I guess luckily lost.
My only experience.
I also really want to get Jack Rose. Like that's the one that I think I'm gonna. If they do, well, I mean, I think Atlas, if they could, that would probably come to Virtual Console.
Atlas is putting out Trauma Team in Japan. They could do anything at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Virtual Boy was the first piece of Nintendo hardware I bought at launch.
But I think, the kind of end that is that I did see something that, like, apparently, like, a trademark or something for Virtual Boy popped up a couple months ago.
I'd love it.
And the way that they've been doing Virtual Console has been this mildly infuriating thing of, like, announce new system for Virtual Console games, release 4 games, then that system kind of just disappears. And they did it with Wii ostensibly at the beginning of the year, even though it wasn't technically Virtual Console games. They did it with N64, and I think they're going to do it with Virtual Boy. And
I think they're kind of forced to doing Nintendo 64 because I think in a lot of promo stuff originally it said like when you buy the Wii it's going to have N64 Virtual Console, so I felt like they kind of had to deliver on that promise.
And I think that they are going to announce Virtual Boy potentially at E3. And maybe like Mario's Tennis is going to be available then, and then it'll be over the course of the next month. We'll have a few Virtual Boy games coming out, and then we'll probably never hear of it again.
Well, if they put out if they put out 3 or 4 good Virtual Boy games, that's really all you need, isn't it?
That's a quarter of the system's library.
Or like I thought it was a third, and then there's the.
I think if we include the Japanese games, I think there's 18 total.
Okay.
I think there might be like 13 or 14 that were America.
But there was the rumor posted on that same prominent internet message board that
the Nintendo VR headset.
Yeah, would come back and be called the Virtual Boy.
No.
It's like, no. The hype train does not stop at insane asylums. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There are only so many ridiculous things that Nintendo can have on tap this year. We got mobile, We got the NX being mentioned. Quality of life still exists somewhere. We have a freaking theme park. Like, no, they're not doing a VR headset. If they do a VR headset, then I have like serious concerns about what the hell this company's even doing because they are spread way too thin.
And they wouldn't show it at E3 because VR doesn't demo on stage, even though Sony will probably give us a half hour of trying.
Yep, that'll be cute. Well, okay, I think that might just about do us. Do you guys have any other final comments?
I really hope that the Metroid games do come this year, just so I don't have to hear about it anymore.
I kind of agree. Although I keep on thinking about it, and it's usually preempted by like I hear some Metroid music and I'm like, oh god, that's really good. Like I want to play a new Metroid game. I'm one of the 8 people who actually liked Other M. I mean, the story was dumb, but I enjoyed the gameplay. Like I want a new Metroid. I want a new Metroid game so bad, man. Like I want a 2D 2D Metroid. Playing Axiom Verge just reminded me how much I love those kind of games.
Think we could get some sort of confirmation that's coming to Nintendo platforms?
What, Axiom Verge?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're trying. It just hasn't happened yet.
They're working on it, but I mean, if Reggie's wasting his time with things like Binding of Isaac Rebirth, trust me, people, that game is not worth it.
And how's that 1001 Spikes patch going?
Oh, don't. That makes me sad because I really like that game. I beat the whole game. Every level. But
now you can't play it.
I haven't updated.
You chose wisely.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I really have to say about the whole lineup on Nintendo platforms is overall I'm not too impressed by what we know, and I think Nintendo really has to prove themselves with some good surprise games.
I think this is going to be a down year. And I don't mean it's going to be like, oh, sky is falling, they're fucked. Like, I think that last year was an amazing year for Nintendo as far as E3 is concerned, and you had a lot of firepower. Like Smash Brothers alone probably would have been enough for last year, but they also had a lot of other things that were like very pleasantly surprising. Like Splatoon was a huge thing at E3 last year, and I see this year as being very similar to 2013, which was a perfectly serviceable year, but it was at least, and I guess maybe this is a little colored as someone that's gone to the past number of E3s, is going into E3 2013, the only surprise was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And even that was kind of a disappointment because it was just like, oh man, what's Retro working on? Oh, it's just another one of those games that they made a couple years ago. And that was also, like, I recently just played Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D as well.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only surprise, that and the cat suit. We knew there was going to be a 3D Mario, but that was the only surprise. For 2014, like, there was Splatoon. There was that Zelda stuff. We saw Yoshi's Woolly World come back. There were, I forget what the exact reveals, but, like, there were Smash Brothers reveals. I think that was when we found out about, like, the Mii Fighter, Pac-Man.
And Palutena.
Yeah, Palutena.
We didn't talk about it, but we could have some Smash Brothers reveals.
We could.
Ice Climbers, belay back.
I think that Roy and Ryu from the audio leak on with the recent update of Smash Brothers 3DS.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to get announced during the digital event for release. They're one of them will come out in August and the other one will come out in October. And then in October, when the other one releases, that's when we'll hear like the results of that poll, and then new character
for Smash,
and then new characters will start to come out in 2016 from that poll or something like that. But I think that this E3's, I don't think it's going to be a crushing disappointment, but I think after how wonderfully surprising last year was, I think we're going to kind of walk away from this E3 being like, well, it was okay, like the games were good, but it just didn't have that pizzazz, didn't have that wow factor, didn't have that feeling of surprise. And I hope that I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong about this, but unless that Star Fox game is the second coming of Christ, I don't see it.
I don't think it's going to be.
That would be a very weird Star Fox game, actually. Star Fox and his 12 Apostles.
Cloud rising from the dead.
I'm good for the 3DS stuff. I'm good for that. That's going to carry me probably through the end of next year. But I am really wondering if I think what Nintendo needs to hope for is that the rest of the show is so bad that they look better by comparison. Which, based on what we know so far, that has a decent possibility of happening. I do love like Sony's upfront comment being like, we ain't got a lot this year. It's like, why do you say that? Like, that's not something you say in public, man.
That's something that gets people to tune into your press conference.
What, to see the nothing that you're going to show?
I'm betting that their November game is going to be an HD remake of probably Beyond Two Souls.
And it's probably going to sell more than like every Wii U game, and that sucks.
I don't know, man. Little Big Planet 3 tanked last year.
Yeah, but Grand Theft Auto 4 sold Grand Theft Auto 5 sold like more copies than Wii U's have been sold for the past 4 years.
Mm.
We're hitting that transition.
Yeah. If this is a 2010 though, they've really got some big guns coming. But it's hard. They seem to be very cyclical, where every 4 years they have one that blows you away because of 2010 and 2014.
2006 before that too.
Yeah. So this is probably going to be a slight down year, but it's not going to be as bad as 2011 was.
Yeah, and 2012 as well. Because 2011 did have the 3DS. Like, that was mine. Oh, no, 2010 did. Never mind.
Yeah, 2011. That was the one. That was the 20 minutes of Skyward Sword, the 25th anniversary, and then they botched the Wii U reveal completely.
Yep. And 2012 wasn't that hot either.
2012 ended on fireworks.
2012 was 2012 was the most barren I've seen a Nintendo booth.
2012 was the year that killed the press conference for me for good.
Yeah. So that is our damn near hour and a half E3 preview and prediction show. Let us know what you think in the comments. You can also send us feedback. You can send us questions that we will answer for you at E3 to the best of our ability. You can email asknwr@nintendoworldreport.com. You can also tweet with hashtag AskNWR, and we'll check out your questions then. You can do that during the show as well. And you can find us all on Twitter on our respective things that are on the bottom of our lower thirds here. You can find the site on Twitter at Nintendo_NWR. Thank you so much for watching or listening or however you're taking this in. And like I said, let us know what you think about E3 in the comments below. We will probably interact with you because that's our style. So that's the show, guys. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride.
It's only the beginning.
Yeah, and countdown to E3, man. This time next week, Justin and I will be cuddling together in a bed.
It's like last year. Why do you think I go?
All right. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you all for watching. Bye.
Later.
Bye.